All right, gang, here we are again. We are in week 5, I think. So we've survived over a month in this new format. I would love to know how you guys are doing. I'm broadcasting to you live from my son's room, and there's his characters and his Hulk blanket behind me on his chair. So I'm kind of wondering, where are you guys when you're listening to this? So I've been teaching second grade now for, I think this is my 7th year. I started when my daughters, who are almost in high school, which scares me, were in second grade, and I stayed there because I love it, because I love you guys. And I hate that I'm not in a classroom with you guys, getting to know you and hearing all about your games and your sports and your school and what's going on with you. So if you want to share that stuff with me, please do. But I think last week you reflected on the 10 Commandments, and we started to talk about sins, and we started to talk about what we could do better, how we could improve, how can we be a better version of us. And those are the words that I want you to use, right? Instead of what you do wrong, because you do a lot right. You do a lot of great things. So today we're going to talk about what I consider the first step to prepare for penance. Now, technically, we already started, right? The day we started talking together, meeting like this, we started preparing. But the first official step is what I think I talked about this last week briefly, the examination of conscience. So what is that? What's an examination? To examine something. Do any words come to mind for you guys? Like, I know you're talking to a computer screen, but it's still good to get to response. So what's to examine? Right? If you go to a doctor and you get an examination, they look at your eyes and your nose and your throat, right? So they're looking, they're investigating, they're getting information about you and your health. And conscience, that's a little bit of like a older word. So conscience, does that mean anything to anybody? I like to think of it like this. Oh, I talked about Pinocchio last week and that emoji thing. Cool, what a good tie-in. So if you've seen the movie Pinocchio, and I know some of you maybe haven't, but maybe you still know, there's a character, a cricket, Jiminy Cricket, and he does this little song, and he says, give a little whistle, woo, and always let your conscience be your guide. I am a terrible singer, I know, but I do it in the classroom, so I'm going to do it here, right? So Jiminy Cricket, who is like the little tiny character, is working as Pinocchio's conscience. So it's like the little voice inside your head. So do you ever see on a cartoon, maybe it's in video games, I don't know, you have like the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other, and they're both telling the character what to do, right? And the little angel is like your conscience, right? So it's like what's telling you the right thing to do. Or maybe not even like telling you the right thing to do, but it's just always with you, always helping you think about what's going on. It's a little voice when you're quiet and you just sit there, right? You hear the voice in your head, that's your conscience. So it's like your Jiminy Cricket or your angel, it's your little inner voice. So the examination of conscience is like getting information about what's going on in your mind and the things that you're doing. So in talking about those 10 commandments, and the week before when we talked about original sin, when we talked about Adam and Eve and their sin in the Garden of Eden, we start to have this theme of thinking about the things that we could do better. So in order to be ready for penance, you will have to have a list of the sins that you would like to share with the priest, who, in order for you to be forgiven for those sins, because that's the point of penance. We go to penance, and penance is a beautiful gift that we're given from the church and from God, where we can say what we've done wrong. We can say the things that are weighing us down in our soul and making us feel lousy, right? When you do things wrong, how do you feel? You hurt somebody, how do you feel? You feel crummy. You feel like, ugh, it's gross. You want to get rid of it. So penance is our way that we can take what makes us feel crummy and get rid of it and clean our soul and feel better. So in order to do that, your job starting now is to start thinking about what you could do better. You examine your conscience, right? So your examination of conscience starts now. And when you're going to sleep at night or when you have a quiet moment, if you start to reflect on, okay, what are my things? What are my 2 or 3 things that I struggle with that I could do better with? And as you start to draw out those things, when we start making the steps towards making your penance and being really ready, you're going to know those things that you want to talk to the priest about. So it's a really helpful tool that we have that we can use in order to get ourselves ready. So when our penance day comes, and I'm not sure when that's going to be, and I'm not 100% sure what it's going to look like yet, you will sit with a priest and you'll sit quietly, and they'll know it's your first penance. They'll know why you're there. They're not there to judge you. And you'll talk to them and you'll tell them the things that you've examined in your own conscience, the things that you want to do better. And through the process, through the sacrament of penance, you'll be able to be forgiven of those things, and literally they're gone from your soul. They're wiped clean. So when we talk about original sin, we are all born with the original sin from Adam and Eve. So as crazy as that sounds, when we're babies, we're born with sin on our soul. So do you still have that? What do you guys think? So were you baptized? I think everybody in this class has been baptized. So as Catholics, the first sacrament that we ever receive when we're babies is baptism. And it's that sacrament's where the priest, they put the baby over the baptismal font and they pour the water, and sometimes the baby cries. Maybe you guys went to one. Maybe you've been to like a brother, sister, cousin. You've seen a baptism. So in that moment of baptism, we kind of think of that as like welcoming a baby into the church. I think if you asked people who didn't know the answer, what's the whole point of baptism? They probably would say that. They probably would say to be welcomed into the church. But the truth is, we're baptized because that's when we are relieved, when our original sin is actually removed and we no longer have that. So from then until the time that we know right from wrong, because let's say like you have a baby brother or sister and they break something and they don't tell your parents. If they didn't know that was wrong, is that a sin? No, because part of sinning is knowing that you did something wrong. There's a big difference between a mistake and a sin. A mistake is I didn't know, I didn't mean to. A sin is I knew it and I did it anyway, right? So that's the big difference between the two. So we are rid of our original sin when we're baptized, and then we have a period of time where we really probably don't have a lot of sins on our soul because we don't know right from wrong. But as soon as you start knowing right from wrong, which you guys probably, you do, you're smart. I say it all the time. Second graders are some of the smartest people I know. So this is the time where you will start to think about what it is you want removed from your soul. What do you want to clean away? What do you want to put in the washing machine and not have to carry around anymore, right? Like it's a dirt stain on your jacket. So what are the things that you want to remove from your soul and be clean from? So I hope that makes sense. It's kind of a complicated topic, but it's an important one as we prepare for this very important sacrament of penance. And as soon as I know when that will be, I'll share that with you. But I know we're kind of doing these videos or talking about prepping you for penance, and then your Christ in Us is talking about your relationship with Jesus. So I hope the two are making sense to you. I hope that they're melding together well. So you tell me if anything doesn't make sense, okay? So send me a video, send me a message, an email, anytime. And if there's something you want me to talk more about in our upcoming videos, you let me know. I'm happy to put that together for you. So I think that's all I have for you today. I know you have some other work to do and some optional videos to watch. Try to watch those if you can. And let me know if you guys have any questions, okay? So know that I'm praying for all of you and your families, and I ask that you keep me in your prayers as well. And I hope that we can meet face-to-face sometime really, really soon, okay? Stay well. Until next time. Bye, friends.